Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome old-time viewers, welcome new viewers, welcome everybody in between. It's me striking again, otherwise known as Tom in the real world, but here on DYOR Live on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Striking Balls. For whatever reasons, Reddit gave me that name, and I'm going with it. I got Pedro Garcia in the house. Pedro, what's happening?
What up, my dog? How you doing? How are things, man? It was a great weekend. We had a nice little good snowstorm where I'm at. It was beautiful. First real snowstorm of the year, and it's like this beautiful silence when it's snowing, and it's so I always sit out and just kind of get some cup of coffee and hang out and enjoy the snow. And I get to the point where I get so cold, right? You ever get to that point where you're so cold, right? It's like if you move, like where you're at, you almost have this air of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like if you move, you cause the wind around you to move, and then you step outside that warmth, right? So you have to go back, and it kind of moves. But if you stay still, it was like I was like slowly moving my cup up, man. So it's chilling.
Well, we got some new viewers here. The mayor of Akron, Farmer. Good morning again. Welcome, welcome, Mayor. Morning. Welcome for joining. Thank you for joining our show. You're going to appreciate the time you spent with us. Claire Kimpton, thank you very much for joining us, Claire. Appreciate it. As Pedro always says, let us know where you're coming from or where you want to be, where you actually want to be coming from. And we've got Pit Monk coming to us from just north of London in the UK. Pit Monk, welcome. I don't have a sound for Pit Monk yet.
Not yet. It's coming though.
Claire, tell us where in the world you're coming to us from. We'd appreciate it. You can be general or specific, whatever you want. We'd like to learn where our followers found us from and where they are coming from.
Absolutely. Also, if you guys don't mind, please hit that like button and share button. We're trying to get this information out there to let people know what we're about and what is actually happening in crypto, in world news, and what's going on and how we interact. So please hit that like button, subscribe button, and if you don't mind, whatever social media you do listen to and you go, please share us on that, just because, like, again, we're trying to build our network and our community, and the stronger the community, the louder our voices, the louder the messages. So if you don't mind, also one last little one, there is that little heart button you see right there at the bottom of your system. If you don't mind, if you could do me a favor and go through and start hitting those little hearts, because those little hearts actually help
right
a bit. Good.
Hit that like button too. The like and the hearts button. Yeah. Go ahead, Pedro. Sorry.
Yeah, hit the like and the heart button. That does help quite a bit. And whoever's doing, we appreciate it, because that stuff always goes a long
Our show is not new, but it's been small for a long time, and it's growing. We've mixed it up a little bit. We got a little better content, and we've got a good crowd that's interacting with us. So all of you that are new, that are watching us, be sure to know that this is an interactive thing. We will take as many comments as we can, go over projects, and talk about news of the day. It's a big week. It's the ETF week this week. So we want to get the word out about our channel here. So as I have up on the screen now, welcome to everybody. Share, like, and comment. Just do it. Just do it. Please just do it. Anyway, Pedro, let's start the show off with a little Bitcoin review. The market is pumping right now. Tell me what is going on with Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest thing that I always, and I've been talking about this quite a bit, right, is we're sitting right now at that supply zone around the 48,000 to 45,000. You can see we tapped it up in the day before the news, or before the bad news came out, i.e. Just a bad news source saying that it was denied for the ETF. So as soon as that happened, you could see it came up, hit it, and we sold off to the 50-period moving average. So right now, we're still in between that supply zone and that 50-period moving average, which is basically consolidating in this area. Now, more importantly, I do want to add this, is as you can see, every time we've had a decent sell-off, you can see that we've actually had some really good buying stepping in. And this is what I call defense against the sellers, okay? And what that means is if it sells off, okay, and then we see the buyer stepping in and buying it back, this is always a good sign of strength actually coming into the market. So I always love seeing in the market where I see a sell-off. Like, again, like this right here, I don't like this area right here because there's not enough sell. I want to see wicks here. I call them buyer wicks. When I see buyer wicks, that means that there are real buyers sitting in that area where price comes back down to, it should reverse. So it's important to pay attention to that. So as of right now, we've got the 4,800 to that 4,500 mark area. It's got to push through that area. And the fact that we did tap into these sellers right up in this area, as you guys can see, it did a decent sell off. But and this is the part that's nice, is we did not put in a lower low here. So this is a good sign of this is strength. This is real strength. Even though it was a sell-off, this strength was a good, or this sell-off was a good strength producer. So me as an investor and or a trader, I sit there, I go, I don't want to go against this market. It's too bullish. I'm going to go long as a trader because the buyers step in every single time, as you can see, since the market is moving up. So as of right now, this week, again, we're putting in the buyer wick here. We're putting in the supply wick here. And so I would rather have seen on Monday.
Let's go.
See, the thing is, I wish I would have seen a bigger sell-off on Monday morning. It's not that bad of a sell-off, but I wish I would have seen a bigger sell-off down back here to this 50% moving average. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow's another day. If we see a sell-off later today, which would be good, which means Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll see buyers come in, right? So we need to see both sides on the wick. So that weekly candle gives me a decent amount of volume. Last week, we finished off strong, but not with a huge amount of volume. So we'll see how this interacts overall for this week. But as of right now, we're going up. But I do expect us to see some type of sell-off into the later week if we don't sell off today. So that's in a nutshell. Yeah.
That's in a nutshell. It's doing well. Earlier, we've been talking, just to quickly keep talking about just Bitcoin for a minute here. We've both kind of been talking about it going up to this level right up here where my hand is, about the 48,000, 49,000 before we see the correction of some sort. And that's kind of an opinion independent of what goes on in the great FOMO world of ETF following. And so does it, from looking at the charts, does it look like we're going to hit outside some huge fundamental news? Does it look like it's going towards that now, or is it is the volume there, or is it going to drop off before we get there? Is it going to happen today or tomorrow or the next day?
Yeah, so it honestly depends. So we have no real resistance except that supply area, but the supply area is decently enough where we saw a pretty good sell-off once we came into this area of sellers. So personally, when I'm looking at this area, it just depends. It depends because remember, we have to create the wicks for the movements of the market. And so if it first goes up, then most likely it will go down at the end of the week. Remember, you almost have to think counterintuitive for the market. So if the market first goes up, they're drawing you in to go long. It's almost like a FOMO where they're going to get all the FOMO guys to come in. Because remember, institutions are always starved for orders. So they will first do a rope-a-dope, right? Look at it like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali gets you around that ring all the day, tire you out. And then once your arms are down and you tired out, right? And it was the same sense. This is what they do. So this is the market psychology. So I want to make sure you guys understand that. So I don't want you to get sucked into this FOMO that pushes this market up. But again, I also know we're in crypto. Okay? And so it could push up. Sorry. So in the same sense, as the market comes up, it potentially could turn around. But if we do get momentum, we could push to this area here. And the next real spot, we got a big slip and slide all the way up from 48. Okay, if we push through 48 with real volume, okay, I mean volume, like this type of volume right here, not this type of volume right here. Okay, we hit that type of real volume, right? Because remember, this is all the same price point. And look how huge his volume is back here, right? Like there's a big difference here. This type of volume right here versus this volume right here. This is why I feel like it's a rope-a-dope. Now, I don't know. Like again, I don't have the crystal ball, but I do say is if it goes up today and tomorrow, most likely we'll see it turn around at the end of the week. And we're probably going to come down to this 35. But if the news comes out, okay, we see that news come out and boom, you see the FOMO people kick in, then and we blow through this area, the next seller point that we need to be paying attention, and you could ride it from here to here if it has volume to 59 48,000 to the 57,000 to the 59,000. So like I said, I'm never going to give you exactly, guys, because I want you
don't
as
know.
a trader, or yeah, well, not just as don't know, but the key is you need to be able to pivot on your heels, being able to be understanding what's up, right? And as you understand the market, you know, I'm not going to hold your hand, but what I will do is saying, hey, there's a car coming, pay attention. Hey, look both ways, right? Don't look directly into the sun. You know, pay attention to what's on the labels.
All right, Pedro, let's get into it here. We've got a good crowd here today, and we've got a couple of questions right off the bat from some new viewers as to why even follow Bitcoin? Why is it important, or why do people place importance of it? Specifically, Core Activities on Twitch says, why do you gamble with an unregulated, potentially rigged online casino? Are you not afraid that you might be providing exit liquidity to actual criminals and terrorists, which have been repeatedly caught using Bitcoin and other crypto? Well, this is the short answer for this. The long answer is in all of our shows that we have that you can watch or not watch. But if you're entertained, please feel free to. The answer is that first of all, it's not unregulated now. In most Western countries, the exchanges are regulated. Admittingly, you can buy it direct from other people, just like any other product on the earth. But here's the deal. It's not just a Ponzi scheme or unregulated crypto and criminals are using it. There's entire billion-dollar industries behind it. Just the mining industry behind crypto and behind Bitcoin specifically, the proof of work style of crypto, is multi-billions of dollars. There's public companies trading on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ now, building the infrastructure out for this. And these are data centers that are bigger and faster than Amazon's, bigger and faster than anything else on the planet. And they're upgrading and investing in infrastructure every day. Every time you invest in infrastructure, whatever it's for roads or for the digital highway, it's a good thing for your economy. Two, it's actually being accepted by governments worldwide. In fact, the IRS just published comments the other day saying it's likely that they're going to start taking crypto payments for taxes. Famously, go ahead.
And to add into that, I mean, we have states right now currently in the U.S. that will take Bitcoin for tax purposes. If you go to Arizona and a few other states, you can pay your taxes in crypto, and they prefer Bitcoin. Go ahead, keep going.
Right. But Core Activities, you mentioned, you say human trafficking is also a billion-dollar industry. It doesn't mean it's not toxic for society. Well, that's true. Human trafficking is actually bad. I just watched the movie about it the other day. What was it called? The Sound of Freedom. Yes, it's an amazing movie.
Goodness.
No tangents. No tangents.
Oh, there you go.
And that's obviously a bad thing. But what you're falling to the media narrative that Bitcoin and other cryptos are actually used extensively for nefarious projects. That was true when it came out, because everyone thought it was secret and private, but it's not. In fact, every transaction is traceable, and now with companies like Chain Analysis and Paradigm, whatever they're called, linking wallets to people, Paradigm wallets to people, and anytime that you do any sort of interaction with the real world, meaning take crypto to an exchange, take it in and out of a debit or credit card, that links you forever. All of those transactions, even your private ones in DeFi, become forever. And that's why famously even Hamas said, whoa, hey guys, stop sending us crypto. If the government finds it all. Yep. And now the statistics are that crypto is used about the same rate as cash and dollars for fraud. It's like 1% and 2%. It's around the same rate as Visa. The difference is that Visa and cash is in the hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud, and crypto is only in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Big difference.
Huge difference.
I understand your point.
But it's an old narrative.
Right, it's an old narrative. Just because you can trace money going to North Korea, which has been traced, that's true, doesn't mean you can stop it. Actually, nobody tries to stop it. They just try to limit it. And it's impossible to stop any type of vice. But the point is that most of the transactions, just like with cash and just like with credit card, 99 to 98% of the transactions are good and legit. And let's face it, the human trafficking market uses cash and uses all sorts of property and other methods of barter. And so if you want to ban cash and ban barter trade too, well, then maybe you can stop it. But it's been proven over and over and again that media narrative is not true about, we call it the Elizabeth Warren narrative, is not true about crypto being used extensively for fraud, because now that they can trace it all, people are getting caught. Even the people that hacked Mt. Gox in, what was that, 2017? 5-6 years ago. The United States government just caught up with them because they were eventually able to trace the transactions all the way to them. And so if you did something 5-6 years ago in this and you think, I got away with that, it's like 23andMe with cold case murders. They're, now that people's DNA is going into a big database, eventually they're going to track you down. So they're going to get you, and that's that with that. But thanks for bringing up those questions. We appreciate it. We appreciate all topics, and it gives us a good excuse to explain them. Of course, we're in favor of laws like KYC, as long as they're not draconian. As long as they're not overbearing on the account. I should be able to trade with Pedro privately. Just like anything, just like I want to send him $20 in cash or something like that. Exactly. But if I want to go in and out of the banking system, of course you have to be KYC'd to limit fraud and money laundering. That's just the best way that works. Aaron Jamin.
What's up, Aaron Jamin? Jamin.
I'm sorry, I don't know where in the world you are, but where I am, it's like it's a jamming morning.
Sorry.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And if you could please hit that like, subscribe button, please, and also share button. We really appreciate that. That's really we're a small community here, trying to build, trying to grow. And the biggest key is getting the information out of crypto to as many people. If you could share it to your family, friends, and loved ones, we'd appreciate that as well. And one last little thing, hit that little heart button right there. That does help us out a lot.
Welcome, share, like, comment, just do it. Yes. Anyway, we started the show talking about sorry, core activities. That's the answer to your question is obviously nobody here. Nobody's here as an anarchist saying or in favor of the movie Purges, the Purge, about no laws or anything like that. That's beyond our thought process. What we stand for here is fairer laws where everyone gets treated the same, and just because you invest in something that the big banks don't like doesn't mean you should have draconian laws put on you so the banks can do this and bring it all back under their watch. We want to be able to have financial freedom. So that's that. Thank you. But I appreciate the comments, and feel free to tune in everyone. And if we get a chance, we'll take more of your questions. But also wanted to do a quick shout out to the mayor of Akron Farmer riding out the snowstorm in central USA. I'm currently in Ottawa, Canada, and we're preparing for that snow to come north and get us. We've had very little snow this year. In fact, the ski areas are barely open over in Quebec. But I'm also from Chicago, and they're it's flat there, no ski areas or anything, and they're still not getting the little shows. Pitmung BTC looks strong today. So does NETz. We'll talk about our portfolio here in just a minute. Where did I see? Who else did we wanted to bring in here? Oh, Claire is coming in from Scotland. If it's not Scottish, it's crap. It's my Mike Myers invitation.
Where's our man? Why am I forgetting his name?
Crypto Mike?
No, not Crypto Mike. He's from Scotland. He's Irish. He's
Dara. He was waiting for this to start. I saw him he was in the LinkedIn room. But in case everyone's wondering, I know you're not, but I'm going to say it so the algorithm gets it. We're broadcasting live on YouTube. That's our main place for having a conversation. As you can see, we're having the conversation here about it. We broadcast on LinkedIn because that gets the financial crowd over on LinkedIn. But we're on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Kick. To kind of get the word out there. And I see we brought in a few people on Twitch. Thank you very much. If you want, come on over to the YouTube stream and participate in the conversation a little bit more. Also, YouTube does enable the DVR feature, and for some of you, it doesn't bring you to the live when you start. It brings you to the beginning of the show. So if you think you're behind, I'm saying this, it's 29 minutes past the hour. click that live button and come to live and join the conversation. We're having a little fun here today. Let's see. We've got. Oh, there's no chance I'm getting this name right. It's no chance. I'm sorry. I'm your typical American. I pronounce foreign languages badly. But
yeah, forgive us, please.
Bonnie Indavong. I'm just Indavong. I can't say it, but what's up, Picmo? This is Drano. I have a feeling Drano's from the main NETz community. For those of you watching us from the main NETz community, thanks for joining in. I'm going to go into that in just a minute. Dos Equis, there's good. Shout out to Pit Monk for recommending your channel. Thank you very much, Pit Monk, for recommending it. He's bringing in that. He's bringing in that the crowd. But anyway, let's just go into that while we've got everyone's attention. Let's see. I've got way too many tabs open today. This is not good.
This is good. All right, so quick question. So let's jump to some news because I know that we were talking a little bit, and over the weekend, here real quick, everybody's been waiting for this KYC / being able to do the what's the word I want to use? Fake money for Bitcoin. I meant ETF. My bad. I'm sorry. Forgive me. That was wrong. But we'll leave that one alone. But what I'm saying though is if that gets released and if we start to see some real stuff come pumping into this market, it's going to be really interesting to see the fund managers as well as the boutique funds around, let's say down in Miami or up in Connecticut where Greenwich is, right? You have a lot of boutique funds out there that I think will be able to really start to kind of help mom and pops going out there and actually put money into crypto. And because I remember when I was a financial advisor back a long time ago, we would sit there and you always wanted to take somebody in their 40s, right? 40s, 30s, 40s, and give them a little bit of risk because they still got a few more years to really put it out there, right? So it's been really interesting to hear how the financial advisors and fund managers are going to be able to kind of talk about the ETF and how they're going to really display, because it's going to be really interesting to sit there and see the conversations around the table that are actually going to happen because of the BTC ETF. And what that's going to, what that's going to look like, and the money that's going to be allocated to that down the road. What are your thoughts on that, bud?
The money that's going to be allocated to it will be large, and but in the billions of dollars. Mom and pop financial shops all over the United States will be able to now go to their NASDAQ interface and buy the iShares for BlackRock and all this type of all the similar type of peoples for the ETFs. But let's look at the other side of this. Is that it may not be a boon for Bitcoin right away. There'll be a FOMO pump, and there'll probably be a FOMO dump as well. But it won't be that, because people have already gone down the blockchain and tracing JP Morgan's and BlackRock's and other companies' buys of Bitcoin. And they're pretty good at finding out which wallets, because eventually somebody at JP Morgan uses a wallet in which they send an institutional client some crypto or something like that. And they can figure it out pretty quickly whose wallet is what. It doesn't mean JP Morgan won't get a new wallet soon, but they'd have to go through an exchange or something like that to hide the transaction. So they've already been buying millions and potentially billions of dollars of Bitcoin. So when they open their ETFs, they won't have to go to market and buy. Yeah. So there may not be initial upward pressure on the price from demand because they've already bought it. So you got to watch out for that. But the money coming over to a long term will be a lot because as it becomes an investment with a longer track record. I realize it's been around 15 years, but a longer track record of being regulated, the iShares and ETFs being regulated by the SEC. The risk level will come down for investment firms. And as that risk level comes out, they will push it from the risky trading desk clients into basically the pension systems. And when that happens, then the billions and billions and trillions of dollars pours into it. But that being said, now what's the Bitcoin market cap right now? 1.5 trillion or something like that.
Yeah, let me pull that up here real quick.
I mean, you got to think about the total amount of money that needs to come in order to really pump it up. I mean, it's trillions of dollars. It's trillions, and that's a lot of money. I mean, the U.S. government can go and print some more money and drive inflation again, or you can get institutional funds from all over the place investing in it, and that will drive it. Welcome, Philip Payne. Philip, thank you for joining us. As we're a highly interactive show here, and also, that's Drano up in his other account now. Please let us know where you're coming from, where in the world, maybe how you found us, something like that. We really appreciate it.
So just so you know, it's about 750 billion dollars is where we're seeing Bitcoin at right now. Its dominance is sitting about 50% for the overall market. And so looking at that right now, we have it's the puppy. What up, puppy? We got puppies here. So if you like dogs or cats, shout it out. Let us know whether you're a cat person or a dog person. But jumping back here to the crypto market. So we're seeing that Bitcoin is about 50% of the total cap of crypto, which is sitting around 850 billion, and it fluctuates back and forth based off what's actually moving. So right now we're sitting about 50% overall. But the key, what I find really interesting, is the altcoins. Okay, so obviously you have I think after BTC ETF comes out, then we're going to see the push for ETH or ETHs. ETF, because that's coming up in a couple months from now. So seeing what's actually going to happen, and I think one of the things that we're going to see is a decent sell-off of ETH for the institutions to get in at these prices as well. So you will see probably a influx of maybe a sell-off of Bitcoin and a buy-in into ETH, because just like we have cyclical rotation within stocks, now that the institutions are in, the way they increase money is they do buys and sells within each sector, and then you sell off good sectors and you buy into sectors that did bad, which then you see a push up, right? And so you're going to see the similar things kind of happening here within the actual crypto market going on. And this is important. I want our viewers to understand that. So you feel like, oh shoot, it's exploding, I'm missing out. Hold up, whoa now, right? Listen to me, Goose, right? In the same sense, you want to be able to sit there and gauge that. Look at the markets at large. They have a big push up and then a huge sell off. Like earlier, I was talking about, and I'm gonna bring this up again, right? Like bonds. To a lot of the new viewers, I like looking at the broad market at large and understanding how it interacts with crypto and how it's interacted with crypto in the past and currently, right? And most likely into the future. And the biggest thing you want to look at is disposable cash and how the public has money to be able to invest into invest into the stock market or whatever it be, right? What's nice is that we're seeing some really interesting things. So if you look at the stock market within the S&P 500, I'm going to bring this up here real quick. Come on, work with me. You can see here that I'm like, come on, please now, please, baby.
Which chart is that you got up there right now?
So this is the ES chart. This is the futures for the crypto, or excuse me, this is S&P 500 futures. Okay. I want to bring this up here because from an actual trading standpoint, right? You can see how we're playing off this 8-period moving average, and we bounced off of this Sunday evening as this opened up, sold off to push back up. Again, I don't like this move because this screams to me that it's most likely going to turn around. I'd rather see a decent sell-off on Monday and then Tuesday start to turn around and then see it turn back up, right? But you can see as we kind of bounce off this 8-period moving average and we're going to push up. Most likely, we'll probably see it come back, typically go halfway into this market of 478 and then see a decent sell-off. And by the way, I just want to make sure you do have the this is for financial advice, and
it's running.
This is not financial advice. It's only for educational and social entertainment purposes only.
That's true.
But most likely, seeing this coming back up, creating that seller wick, and then seeing a sell-off, down, particularly to that 45.15 area in the stock market. So you're like, wait, Pedro, why is that important? Why are you telling us that? Because where do you think that money is going to go? Part of that money is going to go into Bitcoin and also into a lot of this other stuff. Again, we see this cyclical turn in money in traditional markets. So if you start to see a big push up in this, don't be afraid. Sooner or later, they're going to take that money out and then push it back in. So you see it go back and forth. So when you're looking at the market at large, just expect to see a sell-off to come back down if you don't get into it. And additionally to that, understanding how this all works is really important to the market, because I don't want our viewers to get suckered into the FOMO idea, and then all of a sudden, like, you're mad because you bought in all the way up here at 4,800, when the reality is it's going to come back down to the gap, right? And so it's like, hey, relax, you're good. If it's going to go higher, it's got to sell off.
All right, Pitmonk's got a question here. What's the importance for the 10th of January regarding ETFs? Pitt, that is because Grayscale sued the SEC, saying because the SEC would not give them guidance, just like this lawsuit that Coinbase sued the SEC for, and said you gotta come to some agreement here, whether you're going to allow this or disallow it or ban them forever. You can't just waffle forever on the. And the courts agreed with them. And the court said, all right, this was last year in November, something like that. You have until January 10th to allow them, disallow them, or delay it, but give a valid reason for delaying it. So on the 10th, at least between now and the 10th, or the end of the business day and the 10th, we'll get some information on that. So one of the things that we like to talk about is that, the FOMO happens around those things. Whenever information is known to be coming out, FOMO happens. What Pedro was talking about, be careful about the FOMO. We don't want you coming back here and saying, oh, you guys pumped it and we've invested in it and this stuff. We're not telling you what to invest in. We're telling you how to look at the markets and make your own decisions on that. That being said, we do a little community stuff. Pedro, let's switch over to the... let's see. Hold on. Let's go. What's Bitcoin at?
Oh, by the way, I want to say shout out. Hey, thank you, Pitmonk, for sending Rosie out to us. Thanks, Rosie. We appreciate you. Riyadh, ¿qué pasa? 360
he's trying to sell us something, Riyadh.
I don't care. Come on, did Riyadh sell us?
It's engagement.
Hey, sell me. Hey, tell me about this more, sir. And while you're at it, hit that heart button. I might listen more.
Right. That's a good point. Everyone that's watching, hit that like button. Whether you're on mobile, that's a little heart thing, or the thumbs up thing. It really helps us with engagement. We've been pushing that lately, and the YouTube algorithm has been helping us out, and it's been working well. Rose, I listened to Rose. You run the spaces for NETz.
Yes.
And I bring that up, like I tell everybody here, we don't shill any particular organization or promote one group over another in that, but we like to learn about new things coming up, and we like to hear from communities talk about their projects and things like that. So self-shilling is fine. It's not us doing it. But I listened to a long spaces in which NETz, which was brought to us by Pitmonk, as something that was new and coming up. Let me get it up on the screen here.
Bonnie.
Oh, of course, it's the wrong browser. Hold on a sec. Let me get the right browser up here. TV.
It's really interesting as you look at the interaction with everybody. So we've really been trying to kind of go over some stuff here about how the YouTube market works. And literally, so what we've been doing is we put money. So if you guys decide you want to give us like those super chat money, whatever it is, right now, we're putting all that money into the channel so that we can really bring in some really top notch. So we can grow our channel, so we can bring in some pretty top notch interviewees. Interviewees? Is that how you say interviewees? Or do I say that? Interviewees?
Yes, interviewees. Yes. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get. I didn't get my my screen share right here.
Appreciate that, Charles. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. $1 for your thoughts. Appreciate it. I don't know if it's worth $1, but I'll give you my 2 cents at
penny
its
for
best.
Your thoughts, my dear.
2. So you want me to do ADA? And Adam, give me 1 second. I will check that out as we speak right now. Right now. You know, it's all right. You can tell I'm an 80s baby.
Hold on. Let me get your screen up here, Pedro.
Alrighty. Boom, boom, boom. No rush. I'll check it out here real quick, and then the next one will go into Atom in a second. Am I up? Am I up? Am I up?
Yes.
All right, excellent. Okay, so you can see here real quick, like I've talked about the 8 and the 20 period crossover moving average. I let you guys know when we were looking at this the other week that we were most likely going to come down into this 39 area, seeing the sell-off. We didn't catch this supply zone, came right above it, but we did now starting to push. So what you want to see, if you're looking to see how far you think it's going to go, like I said, I'm looking at the 39 to 34 area first, right? And that would be this. This is actually a monthly zone here, is what I'm looking at. Okay. It's at the end of the month. But my real looker that I'm really looking at is to see what's going to happen with this monthly and weekly 8-period moving average at that 36-cent mark. Because as you can see, we're retracing down to these levels right here. So that 37, 36, you have all the moving average sitting here. And on top of that, you also have a weekly demand zone. So I really want to see this area right in this level here sitting, basically tell me what it wants to do. I think it wants to come down. We're coming up at the beginning of the week, testing the 8-period moving average, putting in that supply wick, and then most likely seeing a sell-off down into that 36-cent area. So just giving you guys heads up so you know what's going on with the ADA. Also, if it does push up, okay, and we decide to keep going up, I do expect it to come up into this, to the seller areas up in this level here, which is that 59-cent area. And then most likely, if it does continue into that area, we should see it retest that 75-cent area, because that area there is a pretty open area. It's not a bad thing for it to retest, because most likely we're going to see a sell-off. Now, again, personally, because I see a lot of the altcoins, all right, push up, and then now starting to turn over, I do expect to see some type of turnaround with Bitcoin, right? Again, it's a cyclical thing, cyclical thing to be able to sit there and see what's actually going on. Right here, I want to bring this up as well. You can see this area as if we push above the 75 to 90 cent, the next position that you want to be looking at, and this is important, we could see the next real spot is that 230.
I've been holding since the all-time high.
Oh, brother, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. Ouch. Look, if you do, like, actually right now, these areas right here is not a bad area to be buying. Like I said, I'm definitely looking more at that 36-cent area down to that 23, 24. This is, I bought a little bit of bag here. Right, didn't know, but the fact that we put a higher high above these higher highs, I do expect to see a retest to push another higher high. And in all honesty, all this area has been honestly traded through. So the only spot that I really do see is this area, the $1.70, and then after that, it's all-time high. And I'll mark this here real quick. I have this actually on my other chart here. So give me 1 second. Come on, there you are. And just so you know, like I'm first generation Mexican, so sometimes I'll bust out the "que bueno," and forgive me if I start to get like that.
We're in America. Well, you're in America. That's your second language there.
Yeah. You're right. That would be my second.
Finish this one up, Pedro. I want to hit the main NETz people that are watching us here with our portfolio, and then we'll come back to Adam for Chuck after that.
Absolutely, we're gonna do a weekly. So this is a weekly supply. Boom. Here we go. So this would be that area. So this is to be the next sell area that I would see coming in. But after that, it's the top. I mean, it really is. So you have that 117 or 176 to the 165, and then the next area would be the peak of that $3. So. Hey, get in now, guys, because it's most likely going to.
Chuck's going to sell his kidney for buying up ADA at 23 cents. Yep.
The other part, just to add in, as you see here in the last few weeks, as we were going sideways here, you see how we were having the sell-off of the volume here, right? That's an indication that's most likely going to continue down. So make sure you're paying attention to that, okay? All right, cool. All right, on to the next. And I'll talk about ATOS in a second.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Pitmonk here. He said it wasn't quite at the all-time high. I'll recover it before then. Pitmonk brought the main NETz community to us. I listened to one of their spaces last night and all the things they got going on. It's in development of a level 1 blockchain, along with a whole NFT store, like kind of duplicating what OpenSea is doing. This type of stuff, lots in development. But right at that beginning point where they've put, I think someone said like 2 years of work into this to get the money and tech together and to get it all running and all that type of stuff. And so I said to Pitmonk, I said, well, let's bring the community on. Let's go over it and talk about it. And then we started this other little fun thing we're doing here. It's called the DYOR Life Portfolio. We're going to come up with a better name for it later, depending on how much stuff we have in it. But right now, the portfolio has 3 things in it. It has Bitcoin that we bought $5,000 worth, and we're up $700 in it. It has BNB because Crypto Mike, wherever you are, said we should buy it. And we're not doing serious trading here with this stuff. We're taking community input and really trying to engage everybody. But then Pitmonk said, hey, these guys at main NETz, guys and gals or whatever, can't say anything anymore, I've got something going. Why don't you put a little bag in the paper portfolio here? And so we did. We bought $1,000. And what does it say right here? I don't know if you can see it, ladies and gentlemen. It says the best performer in our portfolio right now.
There you go, man.
Is main NETz. And let's see what it's up. Our Bitcoin is up $394, and main NETz. We bought 5,000 of Bitcoin. We only bought 1,000 of main NETz, and it's up $586. We're up over 50% on that. 50%, and we bought it 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
Yeah,
guys.
2 days ago. It was Friday. Yeah, Friday, I believe.
Drano says everything done. The devs is waiting to release it at the right moment. Well, that's good. Chuck says welcome, NETz peeps. So we put a little money into the main NETz, and it's paying off. It's making up for our loss in BNB here. Mike, where the hell are you today?
We should have waited.
I know you did. I know, but I market FOMO'd into that one. But it created the engagement. But now we have a little story to talk about. The NETz has kept our portfolio in the green. And yesterday, I think, let's see, you guys went. Let's do this the right way here. Let's see. Let's not make stuff up or speculate. They're trading at 14 cents right now. They launched only a couple weeks ago, and came right out of 3 cents, busted up to 14 cents. Some, as they say, fat bag in that one. But this is interesting, though. This is why I thought this would be a little different. Most projects launch on Uniswap or BSC or something like that. They said, no, we're skipping DeFi. We're going to skip that. We'll bring that out later when we have everything ready for that. We're going right to the exchanges. And so they're live right now on LBank, Bitmark, Indox, and Mexi. And I think one other one that may not be listed here. Let me refresh that. I think you guys picked up a fifth one. I'm not exactly sure. If someone can let me know that, I'd appreciate it. But so as you can see here, they're trading in various types of markets with healthy volume. Most cryptos that go live on exchanges get that first market maker boost in the first hour or so, and then it just goes into oblivion. and the exchange is like, okay, we got you on and listed. Now it's up to you guys. But here we got, I don't know if you can see it that well in the small print. On LBank, the past 24 hours at $136,000 volume. Bitmark, $250,000. Indox 93, and initial guesstimates from Mexi are 100,000. The fifth launches later today. So I found that to be an interesting strategy, going right to the exchanges first. Another group that did that was my sponsor here, Audit Chain. They went to the exchanges first and got listed on one of them before launching their ETH and Poly contracts, and it worked out well for them. So that's interesting. So if you do, not saying go buy anything, what I'm telling you to do is, if you are on any of these exchanges here, go and check them out and do a little research on it. Go find their community at someone drop your link to your community in there in the comment section, and we'll put it up on screen. Obviously go to you can go to CoinMarketCap and type in NETz, and all their information is there, as you can see right here. Oh, got ka-ching! Ka-ching! Ka-ching!
There it is.
Ka-ching in the house. Thank you for joining us. We got DB Gaming in the house. Sounding good so far. DB Gaming, tell us where you are coming from. Thanks you for joining in. We got a new show here. Thanks to all our new viewers today from the various communities, especially in the main NETz community. But also in the past couple of days, our subscribership has gone from 2,200 and change to now I think we're just about ready to hit 4,000.
It jumped up.
It jumped up a lot. I got one of my shorter videos about bricks. Not the short. It's not a short, but it's just a short form video about bricks. Went from a couple hundred views to 6,000 over the past 48 hours, and it's been a big deal for us. We got a lot more viewers, and a lot more of that moolah coming in. I think we're up to maybe $15 this month.
Oh snap! Oh dang!
Oh, we got data coming in. Now we got the Irish and we got the Scottish. We're all here now.
Lawton!
Thanks for joining, Mr. Lawton.
Oh snap, Mr. Lawton. Oh, so dissect says that word is 8 exchanges total by the end of the month. That's pumping. That is.
Well, I got a question about that. 8 exchanges means you guys have put a lot of money into the liquidity, because exchanges don't give a liquidity away for free. If someone could tell us how you raised that money, where you got that from. The usual story is you launch a DeFi token, you take the money, take part of it, and apply it to exchanges. Where'd you get the cake to do all that? Let us know.
Absolutely.
Terrence, is always a pleasure. Better.
Always a pleasure.
I'll get that right.
Lawton! We got to get something for Lawton.
You told me it was an Irish accent. Or is it a Northern Irish accent or a Southern Irish accent? Just
yes.
Let us know. There's a slight difference, and trust us, we'll blow both of them, but we'll at least give it a shot. We'll give the Belfast one a shot. We'll give the Cork one a shot. We'll try. It'll be bad.
Absolutely.
Dublin. It's the Guinness. It's the Guinness version.
The Guinness. Oh, that's my man. I said the only blonde I ever loved was a Guinness. So, just plain.
All right. So, thank you to everyone with main NETz. Just to finish up our portfolio talk here today, we still have $10,000 in cash. Yes. What to do it? I'm sorry, $14,000 in cash. So we need to buy a few other things.
Wait for this sell-off
to go into it. Yeah, well, wait for a sell-off or find a gem. So if anyone's got a gem or something, I personally think the market's going to eke up to 48,000 or so. So does Pedro. But one of the things I have listed on my thing to talk about here is Bitcoin dominance. If Bitcoin is going up with that, are the altcoins going to follow? So Pedro, maybe in the second half of the show we can talk about that.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait, that's a related product. We're not aping in that much. Zinu is a related product to
I have a little bit of Zenu. I got a little bit of Zenu.
Claire says put it in NETz. We already have money in NETz.
So, quick question on that. Jumping back to, and this is where I know this is going to be a little side communication, right? But there's been some money that has been set aside for crypto, in a lot of people's money, right? We're going to be coming up to April. Everybody knows what April is, right? It's tax season, right? And so I do expect to see, and I think Satoshi Nakamoto definitely set up that turning that we have on April for a reason, right? Because that's tax season. Everybody's gonna pull money. Your grandma, your grandpa, and I think a lot of these kids in today's world that they know how to handle a DeFi wallet, and it's gonna be really interesting to see with the new laws with the taxation of crypto, right? Do you think we'll see a little bit of pump? You think they will dare to buy crypto with potentially being felonies?
Oh my God! It's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster.
Yes, because the kids don't think. Are you going to put half? So I want to say like this: we have a large portion. I think was it 20% of America has played with crypto, and I think out of that 20%, like 5% of them or 4% of them. So like 20% of Americans have crypto. Out of that, you have, out of 100% of that, you have about, I think it's 10 or 15% that actually had DeFi wallets. So if you consider that 20% out of 300 million, right? We're talking that's 60 mil. And out of 60 mil, you have about 6 mil, potentially 10 mil people. And most likely they're younger people, people are in, 20s and 30s that are probably going to put money into DeFi wallets. So it's really interesting to see what's actually happening in this, with the current, we're coming up to April, and, like, are they going to put it in DeFi? What's actually happening, I know it's a side tangent, but it's really interesting to see.
No, I agree with you on that, Pedro.
Mr. Lawton, what are your thoughts? Tell us what your guys' thoughts on that. Rosie, if you're
we got two Roses up here today. Rose says, hi, guys. Or it's the same with a different account. Don't know, but thanks for joining us, Rose.
Please hit the like button.
Yes, please hit that like button.
And the heart buttons. Those heart buttons help a lot.
Pitt says it's going to vary greatly from country to country. Crypto is global after all. It's true, but like the internet, they're trying to make it not so global. So why is this not working right here? Oh, that's why.
It will vary greatly. I do agree with that. I think the problem that I think America has put themselves into is, and it's gonna be really interesting to see how we eat crow, because are we just going to ignore it and just be like, okay, we really didn't mean it, and move forward, right? Or is America going to be staunch like an old stubborn grandpa, right? So it's going to be really interesting to see as we move forward, because the rest of the world is already making arrangements for crypto. We already see what's going on in the UK. We see what's going on in South Africa, in Africa at large, in the Middle East. Crypto is used. I mean, whether you like Israel, whether you like Palestine, listen, that's not my job to ask you what's going on with that. But I know that crypto is exchanged back and forth for actual real business going back and forth. So it's really interesting to see America, who's been the thought leader in mostly every single tech out there in the world, is not jumping on
bam, getting the hammer applied to them.
Yeah, like, I just don't understand it. It just blows me away.
So, yeah.
But yet, you have JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon sitting there going, I hate it with the passion. It should be illegal. I'd put anybody in jail. But then the very next week, he comes out with literally his own mainnet and coin. So how does that work? Like, please, the insanity. It's atrocious.
Jamie, where is my...
We need something for Jamie. We need something for Jamie.
I know.
We need something like a diamond.
Yeah, or it has
like a diamond.
It has a Grim Reaper sound to it, or something like that.
But it's almost like we get that Rihanna the diamond song that she got. Maybe we can change it up to like an eerie type of song in it for diamonds. And if Diamond ever watches this, respect to you, sir, because I've read your story. You are a hard worker.
I think he's going to watch our show. That's
you never know. You never know. And if he ever does, respect to you, because honestly, listen, you've done some pretty good stuff in the banking industry, and what you did with in 2008, you guys did. You handled that real well.
Yeah, he only stole most of our money instead of all of it. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, we did a show about Jamie Dimon and his flip-flopping on Bitcoin and crypto. Check it out. He famously went and sat in front of Elizabeth Warren in the Senate Banking Committee, Senate Finance, whatever the hell the committee is, and said crypto should be banned. And blah, if I was the government, I'd have done with it. Blah 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 blah. That day, they're announcing a huge increase in the availability of their JP Morgan coin on their internal Onyx system, and the system they developed to I'm not getting it right. There's another one in there too that launches and goes to their main institutional clients, and it's an Ethereum. It's an EVM machine chain, and they're moving money, and they've moved. Get this, they've moved more than $1 trillion in tokenized assets around. On this. Ban the crypto thing. So anyway, that was a good episode, and then talking about stuff. Rose from the UK. Rose, where in the UK you're from? We've got people from all over the UK. Not all over the UK. We've got a couple places in the UK today. But I'm a fan of I had to visit London a lot, and I've had to visit
London?
Manchester and Birmingham a lot for work in their previous career before the crypto days. And I love visiting there, hopping on the train and going around and not having to drive anywhere. And everywhere I go, I can go get a pint of beer at a pub, and people will talk to you and not give a crap anything about you at all. Just, let's share a beer. All right. As Pedro says, glad to have you from the UK. Please hit the like and the heart button. If you're on your mobile phone, somewhere on the live chat thing, there's the hearts button. Please hit that heart, and then the like button, of course. And if you want to share with your friends, please do that. That helps us out. We're a newer channel or a newer show here. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years or so. I brought Pedro on about a year ago, but it wasn't this summer we started getting serious and having a show every day and getting a decent studio involved so we can bring good information to you and all that type of stuff. But today, Pedro, as we get into the second half of the show here, I'm going to take about 30 seconds quick today, since we got a big crowd that's antsy, talking about our sponsors. I've got 2 sponsors for the channel currently here, both accounting related. Below me here is Camuso CPA. Patrick, if you're in the United States, Patrick Camuso CPA company specializes in crypto accounting, making sure your books account for crypto, taking into account all the changes that are going on. As we all know, the accounting group in the U.S. just said, okay, you can start recognizing crypto on your books properly, and also with the IRS. He's one of those groups that can say, all right, we can help prepare you for your to file your taxes, and we can also go back in the past and when you started with crypto and screwed up your taxes, because everyone had different views on how it was supposed to be taxed, and the IRS came out and said, it's taxed like anything else. You buy it and sell it, you owe money on it. And so he can help you go back and fix that. So Patrick Camuso, down in wherever you're watching this, in the link below, there's a link to Camuso CPA. Yeah, you can get I don't know if you can get a free evaluation, but you can get an evaluation. Tell them that Tom and Pedro, Tom otherwise known as Striking, Pedro otherwise known as Pedro, sent you from the DYOR Media Network. And also, for those of you in the audit and financial services business, and I've had a couple of you on here that were highly critical of crypto and stuff and want to learn more about it or want to just give your views. One of our sponsors actually audits traditional finance, uses the blockchain and crypto, a crypto token, to power the blockchain, their validator nodes. And it goes in and audits SEC filings and European Union filings and the UK filings, Australia filings for public companies and anyone else that has to report. A lot of private companies have to report because of the industry they're in as well. But anyway, and it audits those and to look for errors, missing forms, all types of things that if you had that information just a little bit before anyone else, you could short the stock and get the edge on people. But anyway, they're not in the business for that. They're in the business for bringing better transparency transparency and responsibility to filings, because there's so many of them, especially the banks. I have a couple of episodes in which I use their software to go over stuff, and balance sheets don't balance. $15 billion, and I think it was Silicon Valley was off by $15 billion or something like that. They certify that they've disclosed everything, and then it says they have not disclosed this. It's really interesting. If you're in the audit and financial assurance business, or you're a CFO or a CTO of a company, you want to make sure you guys are doing it right, go to auditchain.finance or ask me, drop me a message, and I'll get you hooked up with the right people for that. It's amazing, and it's a disruptor technology that is going to bust up the Big Four's audit business. That's for sure. Rose says she's in Warwickshire. Let's see. I'm gonna have to Google Warwickshire. I know the cities, but I don't know the counties. And let's see, maps. So those are my sponsors for the show. I appreciate them. They signed on again for 2024, and it's got good stuff going on. But Pedro, this is ETF week. ETF week, as we were explaining to someone else earlier. Hold on, I'm just googling something. Warwickshire, UK. It's up near Birmingham. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Tamworth, Birmingham. There's a lot of big car industry there, and so I spent lots of time up there. And I like it. I like it up there. But my friend from Dave from Birmingham, I'm from Birmingham. I'm like, oh my god, it's almost like the Yorkshire accent, which it's so slow. You're like, oh, you got to speak faster, man.
I think it's because you're from the East Coast. Cheers, brother. Cheers, Damien.
Damien, thanks for joining. Hey, all. London here. Looking forward to the journeys in crypto in 2024. I'm new to projects. Kicking myself not getting one BTC from a kiosk when it was 600 pounds. Oh, yeah. I have one of those stories. My son told me in 2013, hey, Dad, pulling at my shirt, do you ever heard of this Bitcoin thing? No, son, it's too risky. It was at $70 or $6 or something then. But thanks for joining in, Damien. Make sure you subscribe, click the notify button. We're on live a couple times a week. We have a lot of fun doing this show and bring you good information. And we're very interactive with the crowd. And we have some good interviews with people periodically. We've had Caitlin Long on here from Custodia Bank. We had Patrick Dougherty. Patrick Dougherty is an Irishman from Chicago. He is the one that brought Coinbase to the SEC to register them when the Coinbase was saying, hey, what should we do? And the SEC said, well, just come on in and register. So they went in to register, and then Coinbase had to walk away with their tail between their legs because the SEC said, we're not registering anybody. And so Patrick Dougherty's famous line on our show was, they got rug pulled. Coinbase got rug pulled by the SEC. I love it. I love that. I love that line. And we have some good ones coming up too. We're gonna have my sponsor Camuso CPA on here. A few Americans that want to pay attention on Thursday the 11th. I think we're also gonna have. Where's my schedule? Where is it?
So one of the things I think is
take it, Pedro.
That's right. So one of the things I think is interesting is, so we've reached out to a lot of people, like some really big people in the industry, and so a lot of them will go through and they'll say yes. So we've brought on some pretty big people already. And so one of the things that we do is we leverage the, like, hey, we've had Caitlin Long come on, or we've had so-and-so from a crypto organization. And, so it does draw people. But it's really interesting to see people say, oh, my schedule's really, really busy. But as we start to really grow in viewership and in subs, it's going to be really interesting to sit there and say, oh, shoot. And then they're going to be reaching out to us. Hey, so let's schedule that. And it's going to be really interesting to sit there and see that actually happening in ads. Instead of us really fighting to get them come on, they'll be like, oh, yeah, most definitely. We'll be out there. It's next week's good, right? I really look forward to having the, and one of the people I want to bring on is, and this will be done, I don't want to even say because who knows, but it's somebody, it's some senators who are pro crypto. And so my goal is if we could get some of those guys on to talk about, what are some of the things they're doing or trying to establish in Congress, and see almost like a headwind to come in. So when, we start to see these good things happen in crypto with the ETFs coming from BTC and ETH, it's going to be really interesting to see them say, see how this is helping.
Well, we're working on that. I've got a couple of Canadian MPs here that are on this thing called the All Party, meaning it's an all-party caucus that's related to improving finances in the country, and they're pushing easier payments, allowing crypto, and in the rules here in Canada are easing a little faster than they are. I shouldn't say the rules; I should say the climate from the government is easing a little faster here, and I've got some feedback from one MP's office that they'd be potentially inclined to come on the show and talk about it. This is a start. If we can get one of the Canadian guys to come on, maybe the U.S. guys will see that it worked out all right and follow on. That would be really good. But I do know, Pedro, that the House does have a big blockchain caucus. But getting them to come on the air, getting to them, it's like here. I'm in both Canada and the U.S. for your new viewers. In Canada, you can pretty much
wait. You said the Congress has a big what? What was that?
A blockchain caucus.
Oh, that's what she said. So what? Okay, go ahead.
Ba-dum-bum. She walked me right into that one.
Forgive me, my people. I apologize.
That's good, we got to do that though. We got to do that every now and then.
All right. So we have a big caucus. So tell me about the big entity that is actually happening in Congress and the push for it, because even though it's big right now, it's not heard. right? It's obviously not being heard, or maybe they're hearing it, but they're not necessarily taking it too serious, right?
No, sorry, I was dealing with the comments for a second here. Reviewed the NETz project. No, don't take it from a recommendation from us. Remember, you took it from a recommendation from the community that was on here talking about it.
Yeah.
Hope you have the right exchange for that. Anyway, my point of bringing that up, or expanding the point you brought up, I should say, was that the blockchain caucus in the U.S. House is predominantly Republicans. It does have a couple of Democrats on it because not all the Democrats are following Joe Biden's line. Just as an example for those of you in the UK and Canada and stuff, the party kind of sets the tone, and the MPs or the members have to vote on the party line or they're out. Here in the U.S., it's different. They can vote the party line. Usually they do because they agree with the policies. But a lot of times they're like, no, this is ridiculous. I don't care whether the party wants to do that or not. We're not doing that. And so thankfully there are a bunch of Democrats that support crypto, and so they've joined the blockchain caucus as well. And you'll see the blockchain caucus interact with the government blockchain association, the blockchain association in Washington D.C. on things like that to get the word out and to stop these horrible bills that come out of Elizabeth Warren's office that are just draconian. Things like that. Obviously, they didn't have much success dealing with the IRS and making us report every $10,000 transaction. But yeah, so at least the community, and not solely on you guys. See, we got it in print here, right there. Got it in print.
Yes, sir. Like I said, our job is to kind of ask. And here's the thing: if you guys want us to come and ask in regards to community, we have no problem. If our community wants us to bring on devs and just ask questions, like almost like kind of grill them, right? We have no problem with that.
No problem at all. But
they just need to understand, like, we're not supporting that group, but we want to hear about their project. Because if our community wants to hear about a project, it's our job to see. All right, let's go ahead and there'll become a point in time where we will have a full website where you can, our community can say, hey, ask this question, ask that question. I've been wondering about this, and we can come and we can talk to them based off what our community wants us to do, right? And I know that Tom hasn't. I know we're both really busy, but I'm still gunning for a free rant Fridays.
Free rant, yeah. Chuck Jansen, what did you call that? You said something about Fridays. Yeah. What was the rant? The term you used was excellent. Chuck, if you're still listening, not out doing rounds, Chuck's the doctor in the house. Oh, I forgot to play Chuck's sound. I made Chuck a sound here.
Oh, nice.
You using the whole fist, Doc?
It's from. I don't know if you heard that. It was kind of low, but it was the line from Fletch when Chevy Chase / Fletch says, "Hey Doc, using the whole fist there?" when he was having his prostate exam. Chuck says, "Full rant Friday." Chuck, let me know if you heard the. I heard it.
There you go.
We're gonna give it to you again just for that.
Yeah.
You using the whole fist, Doc?
Oh, that's great.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take it before we move on to ETFs and other topics that Pedro and I are going to cover here today in the last half hour or so of the show. We've had our best live stream today ever. We've had 78 people join us on the live here today. Obviously helped out greatly from Pit Monk, bringing the main NETz community, but also from a lot of new viewers from that recently subscribed to us because some of our videos caught the algorithm finally in YouTube after a year of plugging away at this. So that's just on YouTube. We've had a lot of viewers on. We're live on Twitch. Got a bunch of viewers there, which is usually we just have one or none. We've even had 2 viewers on Kick. Which Kick, as I say, is mostly hula hoop and feet people.
All right, next. Keep moving.
Right. In LinkedIn, we've had a good crowd on LinkedIn. We hit up LinkedIn because it has that business professional crowd, and the LinkedIn page open on your computer at work is not as obtrusive as the YouTube page. So when your boss walks by, people can watch LinkedIn and say, "Oh, boss, I'm networking amongst potential sales clients here." Realize they're watching Pedro and I try to fatten their bags.
Absolutely. You know who guy I do want to bring on, because I've been watching this stuff for a while now, and he has his own YouTube people, but I would love to connect with, because first person, he has a whole entire group of people, but he's really funny. The crypto banter guy, he's so hilarious, dude. Like, and so if anybody knows him personally, love to have either us go on his show or he come on our show. We can talk it. I'm about to choke over here. Excuse me.
Let's see. Pedro went on mute there for a second there while he hawked up breakfast. Anyway, hold on, Pedro. You're still on mute there. All right, now you're back. Dara, Better Markets letter to the SEC about ETFs was exciting. I've not read the whole thing yet. I just read the synopsis. I'm looking forward to after this is over. I'll go back and read that. Damien says, being a gamer, I'm looking for projects that allows real world and digital assets to use in-game NFTs and coins. Fun times. I got to tell you, I don't know how long you've been looking, Damien, but that's like the holy grail of the gaming industry. If it work. I mean, imagine playing Fallout 4 and you had actual, cryptocurrency instead of just the Coke bottle tops or whatever it was in that. Rose says, thank you for having us from the NETz community. You're welcome. Do good stuff, and maybe one of these days we'll have some of the other devs on for that in one of our interviews when they get successful. But for that, they have to. I notice on your website they still have icons and fake names for their personalities. We'd like to see them fully doxed to come on our show and be a real person. Yeah. That would be great. Dos Equis, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Everybody like that, and we can't stress enough how good it is to have a community kind of rate us for the day. But we obviously, since NETz is in our portfolio for now, we'll keep talking about it, checking in once a day on it. But if you have any news, and we can't check all the coins all the time, if you have any news, I'm sure Pitmonk will let us know.
And I also want to bring up, look, if you guys want anybody else, you guys have interconnections with any other, we want to service and take care of our community. And so one of the biggest, I think, helps when any type of community is when the community reaches out and saying, hey, I'm a part of this community. We would like to have you come and just kind of talk about your project and let them know, right? Whatever it be. But again, we don't endorse the project. We endorse our community and whom they're asking us to interview and talk to, okay? And so if ever, let's say, XYZ project comes out, and because NETz is not doxed fully, right? So I don't fully support them fully because they're just not doxed, right? But we enjoy the community.
But it's coming. It's coming. With success comes the sunlight on your project. But anyway, thanks to everybody at NETz for joining in today.
Absolutely.
And thanks
Bobby, what's up, buddy?
Thanks to me for commenting. Welcome, LinkedIn viewers. Welcome. Comment and like. HXC Bobby, thanks for joining in. Appreciate it.
Bobby.
Hope you enjoy the time you spent watching our show. We obviously would like to see you watch it for 2 hours a day, but the 10 minutes or so that you took to watch our show is happy enough for us.
Absolutely. If you guys do us a favor, also hit the like button.
Yeah, hit that like button. It really helps.
Hit the like button.
We can't say that enough.
Yeah.
All right, Pedro. Let's. I need to, as they say, refill the tea in all that.
Right.
Why don't we hit a couple other projects that you want to talk about while that is going on?
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and go over some of the charts again. Let's go into, and I believe Mr. Johnson asked me to go check something out. What, Mr. Johnson? That's what. There we are. There we are. Boop 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. All right, here we go. All right, so Cosmo here, so you guys can see it's actually been doing a little bit of sell-off. We did pierce this 100 period moving average, so that's not a good sign if you're looking for it to go up. But if you're looking to get in at a lower price, definitely that is a good sign. If you're looking again if you're looking to short, you can see here that we're already starting to trend off of that 8 period moving average. We have the 8 and 20 cross, okay? And so you can see here as we're going down that we actually see more buyer wicks than seller wicks as we're moving down, which means people are buying this. All right, so it looks like it's a good opportunity to buy as it moves down. I do see it's coming down to that $7, $7.50 area, but most likely, forgive me for a second. Sorry about that. I didn't want to cough in you guys' ears. As you guys see it to come down, I really do see it coming down to this area here, that 750, and potentially coming back down to that 641 area. So you could see here, this is another opportunity to purchase. We did get above the higher high. So we got a high here, which was above this high. And then we put in a secondary high with a lot of volume. So to me, that's exciting, right? Because that means that people are really buying this. They want to see it go up. So, and I want to teach you guys a little bit here. You can see here as we were moving up, we did have buyers sit in right here, but you can see as we started topping off of this 400-day period moving average, okay, you can see that we put a big seller wick in. And then as we started going down, we put more seller wicks in as we're moving down. But then you can see here, and then this was the turnaround push where we saw this big buyer side come in right at these levels here. Right, boom, 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 we saw it excel. So as we're coming down, that's kind of what we want to see, but in reverse in a sense, right? As we're coming down, we want to see on the 4-hour and daily, where you literally see sellers step in, pushing the market down, but then buyers stepping in as we're moving up, right? Or excuse me, as we're moving down. It's called defense against the sellers. So as we're dropping down into these lower levels, you'll know then that it's most likely going to push up as we come down into these buyer levels. There are a few buyer levels, like I've said, that 750, or what was it right here? The 750 area, potentially maybe the 8, but I really say 750. And if we fall through this area right here, look to get down into the 560, 550 area here, okay? And then I don't think we'll see it dropped anymore down to the if you look at my old videos. I used to have my own show before I met Tom. We started collaborating here. I did point out that we potentially could come to the 360, 320 area, but I don't see that anymore, just simply because we've put in a pretty substantial amount of volume, and these people are going to be defending that area. So it's something that I do look to see it actually hold. Now, let's go ahead and check out a few other ones, all right? I know we've been talking about Caspa. Give me 1 second. Caspa. Here we are, Caspa. You can see here, Caspa explode. No, that's not. That's NETz. Forgive me. NETz is going crazy. NETz. And you can see here, as we came down into this area here, we exploded some. Boom. There you go. Let's check out CATS. Now, CATS, we hit that 89 period moving average to a T. We're seeing a decent amount of volume come off of that. But again, I do see more sellers stepping in. So I do expect to see CATS, or not CAS, not CATS, CAS, CASPA come down into that 7-cent area as we're moving down. It's not a bad thing. Again, this is going to be a good opportunity for a lot of people to buy in, and as well as the 4 cent to 4 was that 489 to the 409 area. So this is, you can get in at these levels. These are potential good areas for you guys to get in at, so that you can dollar cost average as you're moving. Let's go Friday, Canada. What's up, Yanni? Forgive me if I am butchering that. Yanni, thank you for coming, and I believe you are.
Yanni, let's go from Canada. Where in Canada are you coming from? I'm currently sitting in Ottawa, in the province of Ontario. Yeah, Yanni, let us know where you're coming to us from.
Absolutely. Now let's check out Solana here. Like I was saying to you guys earlier, and also Yanni, if you could hit that like button, we really appreciate that. We're a small channel, we're trying to build, so if you don't mind, we'd appreciate it. Now we're seeing Solana already starting to sell. So I said, guys, when we came up into this area here, we should see a sell-off from the 49. Probably. Where am I? I'm trying to think. Wait, what's going on here?
What do you got up there, Solana?
Yeah, I got some, but I'm like, what happened to my zones? Me zones. Where are you at? Solana. Hello. Yeah, I'm gonna name my daughter Solana. Solana, come here. She's like, Dad, why did you have to name me Solana? All right, so okay, there we go. All right, so you can see here we pretty much hit that supply zone here, and we're kind of playing in this area for Solana. The only thing about Solana
Got Yanni
you can
coming
see
to us
here-
from London, Ontario, so I played the O Canada for them.
Absolutely. So I want to see a little bit more volume, but this volume uptick here on Solana is a decent amount of volume. But the problem is we're having a crossover now, that 8 and 20 period moving average. So how we pierce, if we barely touch the 8 period moving average and you see a sell-off off of that, we're going down further. Okay, and which, like I said, the 73 cent, but really I'm looking at that $50 mark. It's not a bad thing. Remember, crypto seeing it sell off almost 50% is a normal thing for crypto. Don't worry, be happy now. But in the part behind it though is that's a good buying area, and if it does come back down to the lows, okay, again, a good buyer area, because I don't see it stopping there. Right? It's an area that we could see a rally back up into this level. Again, this is a monthly zone. So there are a lot of sellers sitting here at these levels on Solana. So don't be afraid to think, oh no, it's going to go down. But if we do start to see a lot of volume step in coming in today into this week, then expect us to come back and retest that supply zone at the 140, 129 area. Okay, guys? Next,
Quick, hold one second,
go ahead.
Pedro. Let me give a little infrastructure work here. Damien commented that he didn't want to do anything else on his mobile device because he's on YouTube and it cuts it off. You can always switch over to the Twitch app or the LinkedIn app and tune us in, and then you can put that in the background while you multitask, and you'll still be able to hear us on that. So that's the infrastructure hack of the day if you're on YouTube. Sorry about that, Pedro. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. Always. You can always cut in. You know that. So when you look at Shiba Inu,
Shib. Get the algorithm going, Shib.
Shib.
Bone Shibarium.
Shibarium. You can see here that, again, we're starting to really kind of trend off of that 8 period moving average. It's definitely under the influence on this. So I'm looking at this right now. I do see it turning around. Well, that it's under the influence. It's pushing it
It's
down.
under the influence, right?
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's like, go down over here, and it says, right, okay. Why you yelling at me? And so over here, it's like this East Coast, but either way, I'm saying is I'm seeing this going down further. Most likely, I do see coming down, like I've already talked to you guys about this. The 766 area, and then potentially to the lows here, but it's not a bad thing, because here's the thing: we put in a higher high here, so it's got to come back, test the lows, and then from there you should see the same buyers step in saying, oh, it's on the cheap again, let's buy, and most likely see another rally out of this point. So it's not a negative thing, it's a good thing. All right, and then I believe that covers SHIB. Oh, and Doge. Just do Doge. Doge. Doge was very interesting to me, and the reason why is I saw it, and I heard somebody talking about it the other day with Elon, and how Elon plans on potentially using this for a lot of stuff in the future. And I sit there because it's like, you get a lot of these fanciful thought process of people saying all these things, right? Like, oh, so and so is going to use this, or and that's in a lot of projects, right? A lot of companies out there using certain projects to actually bring in that community, as well as you can exchange that coin for goods and services. I know that Chipotle was using a few other coins out there for it, and I bring that up because when I look at Doge, right, I don't really see, outside of things that I potentially think is going to go, I don't see necessarily like Elon Musk ever talk about Doge, right? Like you don't hear him talking about it much. So, but I know that he does work with them. So it's going to be really interesting to see if he does, like if he really starts to use transactions and start to push this through, like what's he going to use the blockchain for, and how he's going to use it. And if it does, if he really starts to talk about it, is he buying in on it? What's actually going on? So if anybody knows anybody from the Doge community, I'd love to have them come on. Just kind of.
I have an alternate view for that one, Pedro. My view is that ultimately Twitter/X will become, a much larger application. There'll be shopping, there'll be whatever you want. There'll be all kinds of stuff in it. He's really going to grow that into something that generates income regularly from all sources. From us, he's already doing that by getting us to monetize our blue checks and get verified and all that. He's doing that by weeding out the advertisers that were holding him hostage. Go F yourself stuff, as we all know. And so what I think he's doing is I think he's positioning himself to have his own token. And I don't mean like a coin or a copy of Doge, but a payment mechanism, kind of like more of a PayPal version than a Doge version of a token. To use within the Twitter ecosystem, to use with Grok, you'll have to start paying more for that and all that type of stuff. And to see however he grows it, and I'm sure it'll grow into paying for your Starlink service and things like that also. So I think he's going to be smarter and more a longer term view instead of getting locked on to something he can't control. He'll start something he can control, and it'll work fabulously. I bet. that's my bet on what Elon's going to do. Imagine if the thing in your Twitter feed with Elon there going, "Hey, I got a new coin," wasn't a scam. It was actually real.
Yeah, like that would,
you'd be like, it's a scam. He's like,
yeah.
no, it's me. I'm live. It's actually Elon.
That would be hilarious, dude. That would actually be. I don't know. I've heard a lot about it, but if this does, then listen, it's going to blow through all of my zones, and none of this will matter. I mean, it will be back at its all-time high at almost 80 cents. So, I
don't think Doge is going there. There's too many good things to get in front of that. Maybe it might get to 80 cents again when everything else is at $1 million. But my personal opinion is that Doge blows. And for the reason is it's just you can't use it for anything, and very few things survive the meme. Even Shib's having a hard time with the meme stuff, and they came out with their Shibarium. We get it, all that kind of stuff, but still, the logo's a dog, and the dog logos have their time. And my personal opinion is that the dog logo stuff goes away after a time, because people want a real dog, like the one next to me here that's bugging the crap out of me.
It's a real dog. And dude, pull the dog up if you can. I'm a dog dude.
Come here, Kelly.
Come here. I'm all about show the dog, because the dog want to be pet, and it's all good, man. I'm more of a wolf man. Kind of wild, but in the same sense, I'm all about my little cousins and bring them on up.
All right, good.
You know what I'm saying? Look at everybody. Look at everybody. Everybody's all hearting that too. If you're a dog person, give me 50,000 or give me 100 hearts. If you guys are dog people. So I want to talk about AVAX here real quick, just because today I really do see a lot of volume stepping in on AVAX, and AVAX is at the point where that I'm looking at right here, and it's at 32 cents. So I did talk about this as we were seeing a sell-off here. We kind of came in, but we're seeing some pretty decent volume off of this area right here. But I do expect to see AVAX at least come down to the 21 cent or the $21 mark area here, just simply because it's a great area for a purchase. And if you look at it, it's just a clean shot. You have resistance, or you have support down at this level here. And you also have, at the same time, it's a monthly zone. So I do like that when I look at that. It'd be a nice little sell-off for the previous high, and then another push up from here. So I'm looking at that area on AVAX. The other thing I want to bring up, an ICP. So ICP was seeing
ICP pumping.
Yeah. There was another one I saw a pretty good amount of volume today. Decent sell-off that we had throughout the weekend. And then you can see right here on ICP, a good amount of volume stepping into this. So it came down to that $10 mark. Now it shot up almost at the $13 mark area. And again, I am mad because I missed this sell-off, man. I wanted to come down to here. So we'll see. Right. I do expect it to. It depends, because ICPs.
I've drawn on the screen here on the studio version of the feed. What's the price difference between where I circled and the orange line I drew up there? We can't really see the numbers over there. It's like $4 or $5 or something.
Yeah, so it's $5 at these lower levels here. So these are $5 down at the lower levels here.
Yep.
And then up at the current price right now, that is about $13. 13.15 right now at current price, and it's sitting right above on. So it's in between. Remember I was talking about ping pong and things are it's ping ponging right now.
Right.
So here's the thing. I bring this up because we could potentially see another sell-off here with this.
Drano, thanks for your support. Thanks for coming on today, and thanks for talking about your project and helping bring your community here. Look forward to having you again on another day when we bring up our portfolio and talk about it.
Absolutely. Zombie mob. Community zombie mob. There we go. So the other thing behind it as well, as you can see here between $13 and $11, that this area potentially could be a back and forth area, consolidation before we do see another push up here. The fact that we did fall into it on a monthly and a weekly zone, we're still kind of sitting at these levels. It's the second part of the month coming into, or excuse me, the second week, but the first part of the month coming in, and we have an equal amount of wicks on both ends here on ICP. So potentially us coming then up into supply at the beginning of the week does concern me to sit there and see potentially to see another sell-off to that $8 mark area, $9 mark. And this is where I'm looking to be my first real kind of purchase of ICP at these lower levels. So I'm waiting for that.
Don't forget Adam.
What? No, I already did. I already did.
Oh, you did it when I was out. Okay.
Yeah. So that's it right there. And yeah, Cosmo. I did Cosmo already. And then Theta. Let's check out Theta. Theta,
is that you, Greta? No, it's Theta.
Oh, no.
Otherwise known as Theta in this part of the English-speaking world. Theta.
Oh,
Whatever you want to say. Who cares? Is it pumping or not? Nope, not pumping. They're out.
And it's not. But one thing about it, though, is if I was going to be looking at it, and here's the thing, it hit a huge monthly supply zone. So there are a lot of sellers sitting here. So for me personally, I'm seeing it come either down to that 85-cent mark area here, where we can see a pretty decent rally, and then most likely another sell-off until we get down into that 64-cent area here. It's a good area. It's not a bad area at these lower levels because we put in that higher high area in a supply wick, which means that that's a good area, right? It would have worried me if we pushed right through this supply area and then came up here, right? Then that meant that I would see a harder fall, which means a lot of people losing more money. Whereas this, all right, they made a little bit of money, they sold off, boom. Now they're going to be looking to add on to their bags, right? So they'll add on to their bags, which will cause them to double up because you make money here, you sell off here, then you have more money to buy in down in these lower levels. So it's something to be paying attention to there. And that's about it right now. Let's go ahead and move on to the news part and what we want to talk about.
Well, we've been talking about the topic today was what's the week ahead. You know, a lot of times we have a specific topic to talk about, and today instead of a specific topic, it's more along the lines of what's going on in the world of crypto. And that obviously is the whole thing revolving around ETFs this week, and specifically in the FOMO that's been pumping around it, and even to the point where the SEC, I think it was Gary Gensler, may have tweeted. Let me see if I can find that one, saying, "Hey, watch out for FOMO." You know. Let's see what they've tweeted recently. There's still time to share. No, blah, blah, blah. Can I just Stacy? No. Today we attained asset freeze on. Oh, who they? No. Miami developer. Blah, blah, blah. Well, let's see about Gary Gensler if he's said anything about. I thought I had this on my screen. No, Gensler. A thread. Some things to keep in mind if you're considering investing in crypto assets. Those offering crypto assets investors may not be complying, blah, 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 investments, blah, 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 fraudsters, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for the tips. Your next round of warnings, how about explaining to the noobs that there are several fake versions of Bitcoin floating around that claim to be the real one? I got to tell you, I can understand falling for the wrong DYOR token or the wrong INU Dodge something or other, but buying the wrong Bitcoin. I mean, it's not like Bitcoin is not like where there is the Ethereum chain where there's like you can put 1 million different tokens on one chain. Bitcoin is a Bitcoin chain, and if you I don't know, if you fall for that, then you're gonna fall for a lot of other things.
Yeah, and that's the part that I guess that potentially could hurt.
I didn't realize
right?
I had this left up there.
That's the part that really could hurt us, right? Is that you got all these people who don't necessarily.
Thanks for joining us, DB Gaming. Appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate you. I think that's the part that does, I think, hurt us. Is the fact that there is room for foul play to happen, and if somebody isn't educated, they're going to hurt themselves. So it's like we need a centralized system in education. I wouldn't say a centralized system of in and out of markets, but a centralized system to just say, hey, look, if you're going to get into crypto, you need to first get educated, right? Almost like, all right, here's a test that you need to get in. What is DeFi? What is CeFi, right? What is a wallet? And what is an exchange between a exchange wallet versus a wallet that is DeFi, and explaining you should at least read the original paper on Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto going through and explaining a lot of that. So it's just one of those things that it's like, what are you gonna do, right? It just hurts. It can hurt, and it's frustrating because it's like, come on, people. Anyways, that's me, my rant. You there, bud? Can you hear me? Am I there?
No, I turned my mic off there. I said that's all I got to talk about today. We both could go on forever and all that, but we've got things to do and that type of stuff. And I just wanted to say what else. If you got any other topics, the news of the day was ETFs, really, and what's coming this week. There'll be some numbers released this week too, but those will be overshadowed by the ETF FOMO, so it won't really matter.
So, what I bring this up is just the fact is that almost because we did explode off of bricks, right? And I want to bring that up a little bit because I want to know your thoughts on, especially with what's going on with China and everything that correlates with them. Even though
China's a mess right now.
Right.
China's a mess, and we've been talking about people de-risking their manufacturing operations from China and de-risking their financial exposure. And Mexico is currently kicking butt, taking that excess capacity and bringing factories over, or at least transferring from one factory to another. Not the new president, but the current long-time president, not a long time, 4 years or so, has reined in the government spending in Mexico and has allowed the currency to stabilize a little bit and has helped out with bringing foreign companies to Mexico, namely United States companies that were manufacturing in China and Asia, back into Mexico, in which instead of shipping stuff across the world, they can just put it on a Union Pacific train and drive it up into the States with a whole bunch of illegals on the top of it. But but China's been taking a beating. 30% of their GDP and their economy, and wherever you want to mention it, is real estate.
Disappeared. Yeah.
And it's real estate based on basically a credit market that the government created, just like the U.S. did in 2008. The government allowed some rules to happen that weren't good, so it allowed all the financial companies to come up with these crazy derivatives and expanded the credit market. And then when there's a tightening in the credit market, the whole thing fell apart. And that's what's going on in China right now. The government let the banks lend too much money in real estate because it was driving the economy. It was making this new middle class of Chinese people more wealthy. But not only just having some money, but having a little some assets, and namely in the real estate. But unfortunately, it wasn't a real market. It was pumped up by the government, So when the government's coffers started running tight, the lending had to stop, and the markets kind of come to a crashing halt. And when, like in the U.S., I think it's like 5% of the market is real estate, of our GDP is real estate. In China, at 30%. When 30% of your GDP goes away or just becomes illiquid, it's not trading, and it's people can't afford it. The rest of the economy just comes to a grinding halt, because once things become, the liquidity dries up, and that's going on in China. The government is doing a good job. They do have smart people running their financial system when they need the finance decisions made. Problem is that they have political guys that sit on top of them, just like anywhere else, but it's worse there, that say, well, that's a good idea, but that's going to be bad for the face, as they say in China. And so we need something to look good and save face, and we need to do this. But even though it makes the market go pew, even worse. So China's got a tough thing. Will they pull it out? They've got 1.4 some billion people. All they need is a couple 100 million people to do something in one direction, and all of a sudden they go in that direction. So we'll see how that they pull it out. But they are going to suffer, because a lot of U.S. firms are de-risking themselves by pulling their manufacturing out, or at least establishing alternate locations in Mexico or India, so they're not held captive to the politics of China. And as a result, Vietnam's benefiting. Thailand and Cambodia are benefiting. India is starting to benefit, and certainly Mexico is benefiting.
And Mexico is benefiting big. The biggest key is, right, in Mexico is the education system, right? Like, they've really, really got to start honing in, and really, because, are they going to bring talent in from India, right, to really set those things up? How is that really going to develop? It's going to be really interesting to see, because, we're talking potentially, we need to make sure that we set up established manufacturing there in the next 4 to 5 years, right? Like, we're talking with the implosion of the birth rate and what's actually happening there, people coming in. But here's the thing, though, like, could U.S. companies sit there and say, hey, can we borrow your people over here in China and export them over to Mexico? And would China allow that, right? Or potentially sit there, if they could figure out a way to flee China and be like, hey, I'm a good worker and I got this and this, right? And then Elon Musk goes, oh, hey, yeah, I'll take you over, I need you, right? Or many other manufacturing companies figure out a way to do it. Sounds horrible, but it's like, how does that look? Because the biggest key is finding real talent to be able to set up, because the raw building part, I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think finding the talent, and I don't see Americans wanting to leave America and moving down to Mexico.
That's a good point. There's plenty of retirees doing that. That's for sure. That's different, right?
Young,
right.
Working, smart kids, right? That really want to. So it's gonna be really interesting to sit there and see.
Well, if Pedro, let me be the devil's advocate there. I was just talking to my landlord here, and his.
Oh, by the way,
yeah,
I just got news by Kate Rooney that's BTC ETF is expected to be approved on Wednesday. I just saw that pop up.
Well, we shall see. I was talking to my landlord, and he runs properties here in Ontario, in Ottawa, and he also has some in Miami too, with one of his partners. And he was talking about we joke about the French language here, the use, and how it's, to be honest, it's fairly useless, because everybody that in Quebec now speaks English, because they grew up with this thing called the internet. But in Miami, he said it's actually more important to learn Spanish for Miami than it is for French in Canada, because in Miami there's a lot of new immigrants that don't really speak English that well. And they're learning as they go, and so a lot of the restaurants, it's very, very Spanish, and all flavors of Spanish. The Mexican Spanish is different than Colombian Spanish. It's different from Cuban Spanish. It's like going to different parts of England. You're like, what the hell did that guy from Liverpool say? Nobody understands him. Just ignore him. And so
water.
Water. Sorry, I don't want to get into that one. But anyway,
keep going.
And so, but as the manufacturing picks back up in Mexico, and it's not so much picking back up in the U.S. I would hesitate to see that a lot of Mexican companies will recruit people from the U.S., from Miami, heavily Hispanic and Latino areas, to come to Mexico on contract and to work in their upper management or middle management, in program management, project management, that type of stuff, because they got the language skills, they understand the culture. On both sides of the border, Mexico and the U.S., while very similar, there's plenty of differences. And so I bet you start seeing some of that, and at least kind of working on the reverse expatriate thing, where people go to Mexico and work instead of coming back, because they still need, in order to run all these manufacturing facilities that they're building, they still need the skill level of people that know how to run these things, and that generally comes from two ways: education and experience. So that's something we should probably track in the long term. It would be interesting to know from an economic point of view.
I want to interrupt here real quick. So it looks like YouTube is pulling off our people's messages, which actually very much frustrates me, because you guys aren't saying anything really bad, and I don't understand why they would.
What do you mean?
Remove your. Yeah, they're literally removing. It's literally saying message retracted off of Tequeros Cabreros.
Well, maybe that person deleted their own message.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe. All right.
Yeah, that's if you delete your own message, or if I were to moderate it, but I haven't done any moderation. Sometimes people spell something wrong.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. I can't stand with
Pedro's a conspiracy theorist. He's like, the man's coming down on us. The man's coming down. No, just he spelled something wrong.
Okay, all right, I'm okay with that. That's cool. My bad. I do not like it. Listen, do not shut our people. I don't care if you say something racist. All right, I served in the military out here in the U.S. And you know what? And I'm first generation Mexican, right? Like, my family's straight, and the reality is this: I don't care if it's racist or not. You have a right to your opinion. It may be stupid. And idiotic. Okay, maybe stupid, but the reality is this. You know what? Speak it. Speak it. And you know what? I've talked to some racist people I do not like. But you know what? They brought up some pretty interesting views. I was like, you know what?
Let's just ignore them, Pedro.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Right.
But anyways, I'm sorry. I'm like
getting off on a tangent there, but that's good. The point is that Pedro and I are here to have a good conversation with you people. Yeah. Tell us how you feel. And if I don't like it, I'm just going to hit that moderate button.
Get out of here with that. If Tom ever does that, I'll go over there and tackle him and wrestle him down, and we have to be a younger, older brother. Anyways. Yeah, so I agree with you. It's going to be really interesting, because you are right. That's an interesting view, is that you could see a lot of the guys in Miami go over there. So I never really thought about that. And it also depends on where they're actually building as well, right? Are they building a really good city in Mexico, and are they bringing a lot of money in where they can, protect and take care of people?
The business originally kind of started with the maquiladoras along the north border, and a lot of the employees lived in the U.S. and came across every day. Let me rephrase that. A lot of the management came across every day, and the laborers lived in Mexico. But now they've expanded into the former dilapidated industrial zones around Mexico City, and the town about an hour north of Mexico City. It begins with a T. That's where the private airport is, where you can. Anyway, a lot of they're reinvigorating the old closed down places where the people had either left or gone to China, and so it's kind of all over the place. I just happen to follow that market because the company I used to work for actually opened a branch in Mexico City to manufacture armored vehicles and things like that. So I got in the loop of paying attention to what was going on down there. And my friend Karen, who runs this group called the Western Maquiladora Trade Association, that was my English way of saying a Spanish word, the Maquiladora. And promoting cross-border businesses and that type of stuff. I gotta say, her husband runs data centers and is now killing it. killing it setting up new data centers around. Killing it. I was like, well, that's an interesting. This is in the late '90s. That's an interesting business, data centers. I don't know about that. Seems a lot of money in infrastructure. Killing it.
Now he's a
Killing it.
multi-billionaire.
Right.
Billionaire. Billion. And just to go off, so I think it was Rose who asked me to kind of check out what my real thoughts are on NETz. So you guys may not like this, so forgive me, but I'm gonna give you asking for my real thoughts, right? So we did come in, we did test this demand zone. To see this explode here, without more volume, I don't like that. We gapped into supply, and we saw a sell-off. Now I want to see more volume. To me, this does scream a potential reversal here to come down to these lower levels to 95 cents, and then to see, because it did put in a higher high, okay, that's a good thing. So I want to see it come back down and then see it put in, potentially 22 cent area here. So this is something that I would sit there and look for in this position from a charting standpoint, right? But in the same sense, off of what you guys are doing and everything that you are establishing, it's still a great chart, right? As you had initial pump, you saw a decent sell-off to come down into a demand area that I did draw a while back ago as we were coming down into this area. We consolidated on this level, and then now we're pushing up, which is good. I just want to see more volume. I don't want to see a gap with no volume. Like if it gaps and then sells off and then we have a huge amount of volume, that's a totally different thing. So I want to make sure that's something that I do want to sit there and see in relationship to CAS. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to sell off, but you just want to see more volume. Yeah, for NETz. So just give you guys a heads up so you know.
All right. Thank you for that, Pedro.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, Pedro, we've been on now for 2 hours. That's about our limit before we start losing our voice and stuff like that. A lot coming out. Our plan is to be on tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock UTC. Also, obviously building up to the either decision or no decision, and whether it's going to affect the market or not affect the market, we'll never know. But that's the schedule so far. I may have, unfortunately, I may have something to do Wednesday, but I'm trying to reschedule that right now because I want to be on the air, or at least ready to be on the air when a decision's made, and to watch the volatility in the markets go, whichever way it's going to go. I don't know. I'm not going to take a position on it because whichever way I take a position, it's going the other way for sure. Just guarantee you want the market to go up, I'm going to short it. The market for sure will pump like crazy, and I'll be like, yeah, it's going to FOMO buy. Let's go long. Let's get some. Let's buy some calls in Michael Saylor's company, MicroStrategy. The fucking thing's going to tank.
We have another 3 exchanges this month. Awesome. The Feb. Then February, we have a lot more catalysts. Awesome. Look forward to hearing from it and learning more about it. Rosie, appreciate that. Also, just give everyone a heads up. We probably might do, and I'm kind of saying this now, but I want to do a space for our community on Friday's show. So we'll probably have, let's say, a space on i.e. Twitter, so everybody can jump on and talk about it, and who knows who will jump on it, and we might bring some people up, so we'll have you guys doing both, right? You can be sitting there hitting the button and telling people to go back and forth and listen to us on both platforms. That would help a lot. Listen to us on the phone while your computer's right there would help out quite a bit, and just get more engagement within the company. And that will be, what was it, Free Rant Friday? Or
free Rant Friday. Yeah, I think it's what it was.
Free Rant Fridays. Yeah, I like it. And I'm pretty sure Tom will be cool with it. I got to convince him. See if his wife can if you can take up some time for it. That would be dope. Can Strike come out today, please?
Full Rant Friday. Chuck, we don't know what time yet. Pedro and I got to discuss the schedule, what's going on, that type of stuff. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the show for today. If there are any topics you want us to cover, please put them in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay and you got to the end of the show, first of all, that's amazing. You watched 2 hours of a replay. It was either the longest crap of your life or the Instagram was so boring that you watched us in the facilities room. Thank you so much for watching. But drop something in the comments. I always pay attention to the comments. Until they get too many to respond to, I will always respond to them and answer your questions. If I can't answer it, I'll flip it over to Pedro and answer it, either in the comments or I'll tag it to answer it live on the stage here. On the stage, Rose Oakley, thank you much for tuning in. Thanks for bringing your community. It makes a big difference, Yanni. That makes a big difference. And as I like to say, for Pedro, Garcia, and I, my name's Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. We're so glad to have got to the end of another episode of DYOR World. Thanks to the main NETz community for joining in, pumping us up, getting the word out. It was our largest live stream ever. We've had over 100 people watch us today live. That's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
You guys-